This chapter deals with changing the appearances of a worksheet. Some of it you're familiar with because we have done it basically the same thing in Word. There will be a couple of little new things to do. Everything you're going to do occurs on the Home tab. First thing I need you to do is scroll down and look at column A. Notice that some of the words are cut off. They're not all showing. That means they are, and I hope I pronounced it right, truncated. T-R-U-N-C-A-T-E-D. They're still there. What it is the column is not wide enough to show all the data. If you will look up here, I will show you very quickly and then I will have you do it. First of all, when it says to do something to a column, you will put your cursor over the column letter. Suppose it says to select column D. Notice I have a little drop down arrow. If I click, it will select all of column D all the way down the worksheet for all 1,448,000 rows, the entire worksheet column. Maybe it says to select columns D, E, and F. If you click on D and drag, it will select all of columns D, E, and F. The same is true for a row. Suppose I say to select row 2. If I click on the number 2, it will select the entire row for all 16,500 and something columns across the worksheet. But that is how you select a column and a row. Now, there are 3 ways to widen the width of a column. One way is if you put your cursor up here and just right-click on column on the A, notice you have an option that says column width. And they will give you the number to enter in there. Suppose we want to make column A 12 points. I would type in the 12 and click OK, and it will widen out column A. Another way to do it, folks, please look up here so you will know where you need to put your cursor. If you will put your cursor on the right-hand border of column A, you get the little double-headed arrow. If I click, watch what happens when I click and start dragging. Notice I know it's hard for you to see, but notice there's a little screen tip that keeps scrolling numbers. It says column width or width, and that you can widen it out that way. The other way to do it, suppose it tells you to auto fit or to best fit the contents of the cell. The way you do that, it's real easy. If you will just put your cursor on the right hand border of the column, the 2-headed arrow, and double click, it will do what we call auto fit, best fit the width of the cell, the contents, and it will fit it for the longest entry. Go ahead and widen out I would choose best fit because I don't have a particular number. Best fit the column A. The same is true if you want to widen the height of a row. Go down and click on and select row 20. If you will just right click on row 20, you have an option that says row height, and you can type it in, let's increase it by 20, and click OK. On row 20, increase it by 20, the row height. There is no best fit or auto fit for row height. You either right click and change it, or you drag it up and down and you get the little height, the little screen tip that tells you about the row height. So that is how you change the column width and the row height. Look up here a minute. Notice in some of my cells I call it the tic-tac-toe sign, you can call it the number sign, you can call it the pound sign. Notice I have that in some of the cells as I scroll down. What that means is there are numbers in that cell, but the column is not wide enough to handle the number of digits. So all you have to do when you see the little number sign is double click on it and widen it out, or click and drag it out. If it says auto fit, then just double click. If it gives you a width to do it, then drag it out and put it in there. But that's what the tic-tac-toe signs mean, is that the column needs to be widened. All right, the next thing has to do with aligning text. And folks, it is all these little buttons right here in the alignment group. Yes, you have used some of them before. Does everybody see them? Notice you have 6 alignment buttons. These bottom ones have to do with horizontal alignment, which is left to right. These top ones have to do with vertical alignment, which is top to bottom. Select cells B3 through D6. Everyone, please. Select cells B3 through D6. You should have something that looks like my screen if you've got it selected right. B3, which means you click in B3 and you drag, I'm sorry, did I say D6? I did. I meant B3 through D3, my fault. B3 and drag over to D3. Now, let's center it left to right, which means you click on this center right there, and let's center it vertically, top to bottom, which means you click on that one right there. That is how you center left to right, top to bottom. Left to right, top to bottom. There is another way you might want to do this, especially for column headings, is if to save space in the worksheet, you may want to change the orientation of the column heading, and that is in the alignment group. Right here is the orientation button. If you click on the drop down arrow, you get to angle it whichever way you would like to do it. So we're going to angle it counterclockwise, and it will look something like that at this point. I have it centered left to right, top to bottom, and then I rotated it, changed the orientation of it to counterclockwise. So that is the rotation, the orientation button. Okay, that's that. Select, see if I can get this right, cells A10 through A16. A10 through A16. Select cells A10 through A16. Suppose we want to indent that data within the cell. You cannot press the tab key because in a table or in Excel, the tab key will take you to the next cell. But under the alignment group, you have two icons. One says decrease indent, the other says increase indent. So if you click on it, whoa, it will increase every time, so many spaces. So increase the indent 2 times for A10 through A16. And that is how you use the increase, and we're not going to decrease, but that's how you use those indent buttons. Now select A1 through D1.
How much do we agree to that?
I did it twice. A1 through D1. Suppose we want to center Nigel Enterprises across those cells. We want to center them up. Well, what you have to do is use the alignment button that says merge and center. So if we click merge and center, notice it merged those cells all into one and it centered the text. That's how you dress up a spreadsheet. So I need you to merge and center A1 through D1. A1 through D1. Select A2 through D2 and merge and center those. A2 through D2, merge and center those.
Why don't Liberty December have the R's as well?
Huh? Widen out the row height for row 3. Increase your row height. Just drag it down a little bit. It should straighten it out. All right. Go down and click in A22 and type in these words. Budget, B-U-D-G-E-T, submitted for approval. Oh. Budget submitted for approval. Press enter after you get that done. Budget submitted for approval in A22. Budget submitted for approval. Go ahead and press enter after you finish typing it. It will move your cursor down one, and then click back in A22. Suppose you really want to put this on multiple lines within that cell. Under the alignment section, there is a little icon that says wrap text. So if you're clicked back in A22 after you finish typing. I've still got some of you that are typing. And click wrap text, and it will put that text on multiple lines. Under the alignments group, wrap text. It's a little icon that looks like this. Wrap text. Does everybody get your text wrapped? All right. Any questions? I think that covers the the alignment group pretty well. The next group we want to cover is the font group, and folks, this is pretty much like it was in Word. If I click in A1 and I want to change the font size to 20 and change the font style to whatever something, I don't know why I'd want that for a spreadsheet, but anyway, that's how you do it. It's in the font group. I don't think you should have any trouble with that. Now, what you need to know, somebody tell me, what is the difference between the font color and the fill color?
The font color is the letters, fill color is the
background. You need to make sure you understand. So if it tells you to change the font color to red, then go here to this A, this is the font color thing, and change it to red. If it tells you to change the fill color to this yucky gold, then there's some color, make sure you go to the paint bucket, which is the fill color. Font color changes the color of the text. Fill changes the background color in the cell. B stands for what? Bold. I stands for what? Italicized or italics, and U stands for underline. Shouldn't have any problem with that. If I want to underline this text, I just click on it and it underlines the text. If I want to italicize it, it will italicize it and bold it. Alright? Now, the other thing that we haven't worked much with that you will use quite a lot in, and I have to decrease this down so I can see everything, is the border command. Okay, highlight B6 through D6, B6 through D6, or select B6 through D6, I should say. And we want to apply a bottom border. Notice here under the font command, font group, you have a border section. Click on the drop down arrow and choose bottom border. And it will put a line. You could not use the underline to do that. You have to use the borders. Yes, sir. Borders are used quite a lot in the spreadsheets because, let me undo this to get this back, because it denotes calculation. In other words, all the numbers above this line are added together to get this number. So you use these borders quite a lot. Go down and apply highlights B16 through D16 and apply another bottom border. B16 through D16 and apply a bottom border. And then come down and just highlight B20 through D20 and put a bottom double border. A bottom double border on B20 through D20. The double line border means that all calculations are done. And in accounting, they also mean that they are balanced. I know that doesn't mean anything to you right now if you have not had accounting, but for this purpose, it just means all calculations are done. You can add borders, obviously, at the top, at the bottom, the sides, only one side, only both sides. You can add a border all the way around the cell. Whatever you have selected, there's a border. Borders are different than the grid lines. If I want to add here a border on all of them, then it does that. So keep in mind, borders can be added around all of the entire cell or a group of cells or range of cells, or it can be added just at the top or just at the bottom. So you're not tied into just a specific location. You just need to know where to find it up here. Now, the next group we're getting ready to deal with is the little number group right here. We've not used this before, so please pay attention. Right now, let's just highlight all the money amounts. And B4 through D20. B4 through D20. We're going to do B4, row 4, in case we put numbers up there. There are several ways, and since these are money amounts, I want to put the dollar sign here. I want to choose the current. There are two formats, number formats, that will give you the dollar sign. One of them is currency, which is right here. Under currency, you choose right here. This is your format style. Notice here, look at the dollar sign where they occur. They occur right up next to the money, and they are just scattered all over here. I do not like currency, so let's change it to accounting so you can see the difference. Notice accounting puts the dollar sign to the left of the cell. Okay. There is another way to get to all this. Go down here on the by number, the word number, and click the little launch button to open up the Format Cells dialog box. By the word number, the little arrow. Now, this is usually where I go when I want to format the number style. You can do it the shortcut way, but sometimes accounting currency may not have the dollar sign showing, and you need to go here to tell it to show the dollar sign. This would be where you could decrease the decimals. Cancel. This works real well up here, these little shortcuts, if all the cells are the same and you want to format them the same. However, if they're formatted differently, then you have to go the long way and do this. Notice here, you also get, this is where you go for your alignment business. This is easier as far as I'm concerned. Font, business, all this for the fonts are found right here. Border, this little bit's found right here. Fill is the little fill command, which is your paint bucket, and you don't need to worry about protection at this point. It's where they lock down the spreadsheets, but we're not going to do that. So you can use this long way if you want to. I prefer to use the little shortcuts right here, except when I'm working with the number styles or the number formats. Okay, very quickly, we're almost done. Hang in there. Suppose, let's highlight B20 through D20. And we want to apply a specific style. This is much like the styles that were in Word. Find the little style group right here on your home tab. And these are cells that we're wanting to apply. So click on Cell Styles. And You use styles sometimes, make it accent 3, to make your spreadsheet more consistent, and they're also a time-saving device. You don't have to decide what color to make the fill color unless they've given you a specific one. It's just a way to dress up your table. Now, you can highlight A1, no, let's do, I don't know if this will work, A4 through D19. I'm not sure the format as table will work. It probably won't. But you have another style up here that says format as table. Let's click on it and click OK. Yeah, it did somewhat all right.
What are we clicking on a format table?
I just chose one. It's not going to work real well.
Oh.
But I just wanted to show you format table will format the entire table. Cell styles will format only the styles you have selected. Who remembers what the format painter is? Anybody remember? Suppose I got this group of cells all set up as far as the font color, and all that stuff. And I want this group of cells right here to look like it. Let's just do this one. You can select the cells. Here's your little paintbrush right here. It's called the Format Painter. Click on it and then go up here and drag that little paintbrush across the cells that you want it to apply the formatting to. It's a time-saving device, yes. You could go and format them individually, but I don't remember what color this was. I don't have a clue. And so I just, let me demonstrate it again. Select the cells you want to copy the format from. Click on your paintbrush and then click across the cells you want to apply the formatting to. That is the Format Painter. It is a time-saving device. Okay? Any questions on any of this? Again, some of it you know. The only thing I think would be somewhat new to you are some of the alignment buttons, the number group, and the style group.